Nonsensical immigration policy has wrecked the housing market. Canada's immigration policies and their far-reaching effects. In a video by Debacle Economics on August 28, 2023 on YouTube. The video discusses how Canada's current immigration policies are contributing, if not indeed causing, the Canadian housing market chaos. Its information is reviewed and discussed here in our video. Canada has long been celebrated as a nation built by immigrants. Over its 150-year history, waves of newcomers from diverse corners of the world have contributed to the rich tapestry of Canadian society. The French, English, Scottish, Irish, Italians, Greeks, Poles, Portuguese, Chinese, Indians, Vietnamese, and Filipinos, among others, have all made Canada their home, forging a multicultural mosaic that Canadians take pride in. At present, Canada stands at a pivotal juncture, grappling with the consequences of its immigration policies. For decades, Canada embraced high levels of immigration as a means to drive economic growth, diversify its population, and foster social cohesion. Yet, the recent acceleration of immigration levels, coupled with a myriad of factors, has cast a shadow over this narrative. In this comprehensive exploration, we will examine Canada's immigration policies and their impact on various facets of Canadian society, economy, and identity. While immigration remains a driving force in Canada's evolution, we'll scrutinize whether the current approach aligns with the nation's capacity to absorb new arrivals, maintain a robust healthcare system, address a burgeoning housing crisis, and sustain its social safety nets. Canada's immigration landscape has evolved dramatically. The government's decision to increase immigration targets has raised eyebrows. In 2023, projections suggest that Canada could admit as many as 505,000 immigrants. And by 2025, that number may rise to a staggering 550,000. The surge in immigration has led to a population growth of 1.2 million people in just 1 year. A demographic transformation that poses formidable challenges. Canada's healthcare system, renowned for its universal access and quality care, is experiencing mounting pressure. An exodus of healthcare professionals due to stress, vaccine mandates, and other factors has left the system teetering on the edge. Emergency rooms operate at reduced capacity. Wait times for critical treatments have grown, and the quality of care has diminished. Paradoxically, despite the influx of immigrants, Canada struggles to fill the void left by departing healthcare workers. Owing to credential recognition issues, Canada grapples with a housing crisis of unprecedented proportions. The nation is struggling to construct enough housing to accommodate its swelling population, leading to soaring housing prices. Even in smaller cities, homeless encampments have emerged, a stark testament to the housing shortage. The author underscores how Canada's zoning laws, bureaucratic red tape, and resistance to urban sprawl have compounded the housing problem. Enter the Century Initiative, a think tank that advocates for Canada's population to reach 100 million by 2100. Proponents argue that Canada's aging population and shrinking workforce necessitate substantial population growth to sustain economic vitality and social programs. The Century Initiative boasts support from influential politicians, business leaders, and members of Canada's elite. Despite the Century Initiative's arguments, some contend that the approach may be fundamentally flawed. Canada's reliance on population growth to fund its social safety net has created a precarious cycle reminiscent of a Ponzi scheme. With each population increase, Canada incurs higher costs for healthcare, retirement benefits, and a mounting debt burden. To contextualize the current immigration landscape, we delve into Canada's history. In the mid-20th century, Canada had 25.5 million people. But by 2023, the population exceeded 40 million. While this rapid growth was manageable, Canada has transformed over the years. It has transitioned from a country with abundant space and resources to a nation grappling with urban sprawl, environmental concerns, and a more restrictive approach to housing and development. Canada's medical and professional associations play a pivotal role in shaping the immigration narrative. They have created barriers to recognizing the credentials of foreign-trained professionals, contributing to an artificial shortage of healthcare workers and reinforcing wage disparities. Canada's housing dilemma runs deeper than a shortage of homes. The nation's zoning laws, evolving societal attitudes toward urban sprawl, and bureaucratic processes hinder housing development. The result is surging home prices, overcrowding, and homelessness. The article draws an analogy between Canada's reliance on population growth to maintain social programs and a Ponzi scheme. While this immigration strategy may address immediate fiscal challenges, it perpetuates a cycle of debt and higher costs for the future. Canada finds itself at a crossroads, grappling with the ramifications of immigration policies, a strained healthcare system, a housing crisis, and the ambitious goals of the Century Initiative. The nation must confront the critical question of whether its current trajectory is sustainable. As Canada navigates these complex challenges, it must consider recalibrating its immigration policies to ensure a prosperous and equitable future for all Canadians. The debate over the nation's identity, values, and capacity to absorb newcomers unfolds against a backdrop of profound transformation. The persistence of a flawed housing strategy in Canada, as in many other countries, can be attributed to a combination of political, economic, and social factors. Here are some reasons why such strategies may continue. Politicians often face short-term incentives to prioritize policies that appear to boost the housing market, as rising property values can be popular with homeowners and may translate into electoral support. Elected officials may prioritize immediate gains over long-term sustainability. Real estate and construction industries wield significant economic influence and can lobby for policies that favor their interests. These industries can benefit from a booming housing market, leading to job creation and economic growth. Political cycles are often relatively short-term, making it challenging for policymakers to prioritize long-term solutions to complex housing problems. Immediate political gains may take precedence over addressing structural issues. Policymakers may be concerned that significant interventions in the housing market could lead to market instability or a housing market crash. This fear of unintended consequences can make them cautious about implementing reforms. Various interest groups, including homeowners associations and real estate organizations, may exert pressure on policymakers to maintain policies that benefit their constituents or members. The persistence of flawed strategies underscores the complexity of the housing problem and the challenges in achieving meaningful reform. Meaningful change often requires a combination of political will, public awareness, and a commitment to long-term solutions. What do you think? Is Canada's immigration policy causing short-term gain and economic growth at the expense of a long-term financial burden with a huge bill that will become due in the future? Or is this lofty population growth strategy through immigration sustainable and will pay dividends in the years and decades to come? Please join in on the conversation by leaving a comment. If you found this video and information useful, please smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so we can keep providing you with timely information you can apply on a daily basis.